This is big breaking emergency news. The situation just got a lot worse. We are seeing toxic chemicals and toxic smoke being released into the air, and this is now affecting 40 to 50 million people at least are being affected by this and are being issued warnings for air quality alerts to not breathe this in. And this is happening overnight. This is spreading overnight. This is very suspicious, very strange. We were talking yesterday about how there were fires in Virginia breaking out. Now the situation just got a lot worse. Now there are fires in Georgia, in Alabama, in Florida. This is spreading. There are hundreds and hundreds of fires right now. I'm going to show you guys that have popped up just in the past 24 hours. This is very serious. And now the entire southeast region of the country is covered in toxic chemical smoke right now, and people are reporting it smells like burning plastic, burning chemicals, and that's what it smells like outside my house right now, right? It smells like burning chemicals. We had our kids playing outside, and we just brought them in because we are smelling this toxic chemical smell in the air right now, and it's smoky and the sun is being blocked out. This is serious, and the situation just got a lot worse, all right? And more states of emergencies have been declared. In more states, these fires are spreading, and now they are even admitting that toxic chemicals are being released in the air, like things like formaldehyde, all right? So hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's get into this news here, all right? This is huge. I want you guys to see what's going on in our country. Look at this map of the country right now. This is insane, and I've been checking on this the past 48 hours, and the situation has gotten a lot worse just in that time frame. All right, we are seeing major fires break out all over the country, and we are seeing warnings being issued for certain parts of the country to not even go outside, to stay indoors, because this toxic chemical smoke is so bad right now. All right, so you can see here though that things are bad. All right, look at all these fires that have popped up in Georgia, in Alabama, in Florida. These are all very recent fires. All right, we'll get into more details though in a second. And look at these fires in Virginia that all popped up overnight as well. These are massive fires, and they are now issuing alerts in certain parts of Virginia to not go outside. It says limit or avoid outdoor physical activity because the air is that unhealthy. And I'm telling you, I'm smelling this stuff down south, and it smells like toxic chemical smoke. And we'll show the documents of how they admit there's formaldehyde in this. But you can see here, they're saying very unhealthy, limit outdoor physical activity, go indoors if you have symptoms, avoid all outdoor physical activity for especially sensitive groups, right? This stuff's already giving me a headache. It's bad, and I can smell it right away. I know what it is, and this map is very suspicious, right? Look at all these major fires that have popped up. There's also been states of emergency that have been declared in Virginia now, all right? Virginia, or West Virginia, they have declared a state of emergency as well in the counties for Grant, Hampshire, Hardy, and Pendleton counties, right? Because these fires are spreading, and these fires are right here on the border of Virginia and West Virginia, and some of these are massive. Look at this one right here, right? This fire, 4,126 acres. This is the Waterfall Mountain Fire, and this just popped up overnight. All right, people are being devastated, and all those other little spots are other fires that are spreading throughout the country, right? So they are telling people stay indoors. These fires are spreading. This is right outside of Washington, D.C., and I want you to look down south too. There's a ton of fires popping up out of nowhere. Look at these fires. Every single little orange thing that you see is a fire. Look at these. This is a ton of fires that we're seeing down south, and it's spreading quickly. All right, look at all these fires near Alabama, Georgia, all right, all over the place. And we are seeing the smoke you can see on the map too, all the way down to Florida. They're getting this thick smoke, and it smells bad, all right? So something's going on. All these fires are popping up out of nowhere, and this doesn't just happen. This doesn't just happen. These could be started intentionally. They all started. Another one, March 21st, 200 acres. All right, these are all over the place. And who is starting these fires? All right, there's a lot of possibilities. Things like directed energy weapons. All right, that's a major possibility. And we've seen stuff like that potentially inside of places like Texas and Hawaii. All right, and even places like California a few years ago, Paradise, California, if you remember that community that was completely burned to the ground and vaporized. All right, this is spreading. All these little blips you see are fires, and these are all popping up out of nowhere and spreading quickly. So something's going on. This isn't natural. This isn't just a spontaneous combustion, and we need answers of what's going on. The border's wide open, and there could be foreign military units coming into our country and starting these fires and burning our country to the ground. This is right outside of the U.S. Capitol. Washington, D.C. is right there. And this smoke, if the wind turns, starts blowing just a little bit north, all right? It's already blowing east, but it's kind of going southeast right now. That's why the south's getting hit. But if this blows just a little bit north, Washington, D.C. is going to get flooded with this smoke as well. And maybe then they will finally realize what's happening in our country, right? Because people are insulated from this. This is destroying people's lives, their homes. And then a lot of these places, they have plans to build these smart cities and these smart grids. There was a plan in Hawaii for this. There's a plan in Texas for this. And there could be a plan outside of Washington, D.C. for one, potentially. All right? And this is also outside of Richmond, Virginia there as well. So something's going on. All these fires don't just spontaneously combust overnight. How did this fire way over here? Look, there's no other fires around it. How did this fire start out of nowhere? How is it even connected to these other fires? It's not near it. I really don't understand. It doesn't make sense how all these fires start at once and how they're all so close together. And check out some of these pictures from these fires that are spreading. Look at the skies here. All right, look at how dystopian this looks. And it doesn't really look that far off here. All right, that's obviously a lot thicker, but it looks similar here. The smoke's accumulating and it's blocking out the sun and creating similar colors in the sky, and you can smell it, and it's bad. You can see the smoke in the air. And I'm multiple states away down south from Virginia. All right, so something's going on. This is not a coincidence. Look at these fires just tearing through the mountainsides. And this is not an area known for these wildfires. This is normally a very humid, this is why it's called the Smoky Mountains, because it's normally very wet and moist and has a high humidity level. So the moisture never fully evaporates, right? There's always some release of moisture from the earth, from the trees, from the ground, everything in the Smoky Mountains. That's why it's called the Smoky Mountains. But now it's the Smoky Mountains because it's being burned to the ground. All right, so if you are in this area, you need to be on red alert, high alert. But there's even fires spreading down south too. Some of those fires are hundreds of acres that are in Georgia, Alabama. All right, these fires are spreading. There's a fire down in Florida as well, down here. And all these little red blips you see are these little orange blips. Those are fires too. All fires. There's another fire down here in Florida. 178 acres just popped up overnight. All these things are just popping up out of nowhere. And it's very suspicious. And we need answers. And we need protection. And it's overwhelming our critical services. It's overwhelming the National Guard. They can't respond to the entire section of the country being burnt down, right? And they're also warning that things like formaldehyde are being released in this fire smoke. You can see here, this is on official government website. All right, this is from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And it says right here, formaldehyde evolution in U.S. wildfire plumes during the fire influence or regional to global environments and air quality experiment, right? So they did a big experiment on this, and they determined that there's a ton of formaldehyde in these fires, apparently. That's the official narrative, and that's why they smell like toxic chemical smoke and plastic, because the theory, this is what they're saying. It could be something else, but this is the official theory, is that the smoke is reacting in the atmosphere with water vapor and sunlight UV rays, and it's reacting and turning into volatile organic compounds, VOCs, in the atmosphere, and that is what we are smelling. And one of the main ones that is produced is formaldehyde. And one way to mitigate this risk is to have things like HEPA filters inside your AC filters. All right, you can order special ones that have HEPA filters inside of them, so it'll filter out your air when you turn on your AC, right? You can get ones with carbon filters. You can have ones with a combination of both, because they're going to capture different things, right? And the carbon filter will probably be good for capturing VOCs, these volatile organic compounds, right? These carbon scrubbers are very good for things like that. But having a HEPA filter will help as well, and could potentially even, depending on what the micron level is, could even protect you from things like biologicals and things like that, biological attacks, chemical attacks, anything like that, if you have a good enough filter. Right, so look into these things. Something that I'm gonna get here soon. We just moved in here recently, right? So still getting all these little things for the house, but that's on my list, especially now with this fire and with this smoke, is to have a HEPA filter for the AC. All right, we had carbon filters for our RV, right? But we need to get new ones for this house now, right? So get prepared, guys. Get stocked up. This is not looking good. There are also mass evacuations going on as well in this region, and it's spreading to different counties. They're saying that homes are being burnt to the ground, right? They're being completely destroyed from this, right? They are also warning that people's homes are being destroyed and burnt down, as well as hundreds of wildfires swarm Virginia and West Virginia. You can even see here, it says more than 100 wildfires ignited over 2 days in Virginia and West Virginia, burning homes, forcing evacuations, and shutting down parts of Shenandoah National Park. It said wind gustings in excess of 50 miles an hour fueled the flames. That included a gust of 61 mile per hour reported Wednesday at Front Royal, Virginia. All right, so this is spreading, and this is bad. This is destroying people's homes, destroying people's livelihoods, and we could have mass casualties from this. And how are hundreds of wildfires popping up within 48 hours? Hundreds of them. Was everyone just out? It wasn't the weekend. It's not like everyone's out camping. It's not a holiday. It doesn't really make sense that all these fires just pop up out of nowhere on a Tuesday afternoon. Hundreds of fires just because it's a little windy. All right. And the excuse in Texas was that it was just the power lines. They were saying that there were down power lines that caused this. That's their official narrative, but it's not adding up. Something's not adding up. It could be something else, and it could potentially be these energy weapons that we've talked about for years. Right? I've talked about this for years, how it doesn't even have to be something crazy, some space satellite doing it or anything. It could be somebody standing 2 miles away with a high-powered laser starting a fire. They could be standing on a different mountain and aiming it down on other mountains, starting fires, lighting stuff on fire from 2 miles away, 3 miles away, miles away, and they've never even been near it. They never got close to it. There's no footprints, there's no tracking, there's nothing. They've never even been there before, but they can start a fire from miles away, and then nobody knows who did it or anything, right? I've been talking about that for years because that's how the Forest Service actually starts a lot of these fires. They use a laser ignition technique so they aren't in the middle of all these fires, right? They use lasers to start them from a mile, couple miles away in certain places, certain burns, so they're not right in the middle of it, right? The U.S. Forest Service does this. They have laser ignition devices. I've been talking about this for years because I was in the middle of these fires a couple years ago in southern Colorado and New Mexico. These massive fires were pretty close to us, and they were overtaking our village, the smoke, and it was dangerous. We were worried about it, and that ended up being one of the biggest fires in state history in New Mexico, and it was started by the Forest Service. You guys can see right here, it says the federal government has acknowledged that it started the largest wildfire in state history, which charred more than 530 square miles of the Rocky Mountain foothills east of Santa Fe, New Mexico, destroying homes and livelihoods. All right, I was right there on the border of New Mexico and Colorado, right around this area, a little bit north of Santa Fe, and it was terrible. It was terrible. An entire village's homes burned to the ground, and they admitted they started it. What's been the repercussions? Has anyone even helped these people? Has there been any restitution or anything for them? Probably not. It doesn't seem like it. All right, so get prepared, guys. This is something that everyone needs to be ready for. Something I'm worried about. This could happen. These fires, who knows? Who knows? They could happen near you in an instant, overnight. You're surrounded by these fires and you have to leave your home. So have a plan. Figure out what you would do, right? Figure out what you're going to do with your animals, all this stuff, what you're going to do with your preps, what you want to bring, what you need to leave the house for a week. Who knows? Who knows, all right? So get prepared now, guys. Please hit it up for me down there. Help get this video out, get this warning out. People need to know about this, and people need to be prepared. This fire map is crazy. It's going crazy right now. I've never seen this many fires before, especially in the south here. This is a ton, right? And it's just spreading constant. So get prepared now. Get your pantry stocked up. Get your water tanks filled up, because they shut the power off too when they do this. All right, when this happens, the power is turned off right now in these places in Virginia, in these counties in Virginia and West Virginia where they declared a state of emergency. The power's off, the water's off, and they want you out of there, right? So be prepared, be ready. Pray for Virginia right now. This is bad. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.